Today, breaking news came forth from the Big Ten and the Committee on Infractions. Dan Wetzel wrote an article releasing the fact that Big Ten Commissioner Tony Petitti wrote a letter to the Committee of Infractions that happened last month, June 6th and 7th, just leaking today. All this big news right before the Big Ten Media Days, going to dominate the storylines and the headlines coming out of Big Ten Media Days for a second consecutive year. To me, that's kind of frustrating, but Rob, man, this is ridiculous. This story just keeps on giving fuel to the fire, man.
Yeah, I believe it was actually Dan Wetzel that broke the story. And, again,
Mm-hmm.
like, what a coincidence. Just right before Big Ten Media Day, that's going to overshadow all the other coaches who came with their players to represent their teams.
Yep.
And I guarantee you, we all know who the leak was, who gave Dan Wetzel the story, just the usual suspects. And no, it was not Ryan Day's brother. So yeah, but I mean, I I just don't get it. I mean,
Yep.
Tony Petitti is kind of looking like an idiot right now. I mean, he can have his opinions, but just the fact. I mean, let's look at this letter he wrote to Michigan back in 2023.
When all
and,
this
and
story
you know
broke.
what, just so you could so here's the original letter. um and just like there's a lot to unpack right here, so we're gonna do as much as we can. So it says notice of disciplinary action against the University of Michigan. And this is to Warde Manuel, actually. The purpose of this letter is to provide formal notice that the Big Ten Conference is imposing disciplinary action against member institution, the University of Michigan, for violations of the conference's sportsmanship policy. So if they're talking about the conference sportsmanship policy is the advanced sign stealing scheme with Connor Stallions. And the
Mhm.
fact that, this was huge because in the letter, it also addresses that there was an emergency phone call with all the other coaches in the Big Ten, minus Harbaugh, due to a conflict of interest. And I can tell you right now, like, all the other Big Ten coaches were just livid. I mean,
Yeah.
Michigan State was even given the choice to cancel their game
Right.
against Michigan, but going down to actually, wait, let's get out of this letter. I do have an article because, again, this is a lot to unpack. If
Certainly.
it's out there for everybody. The Big Ten letter's out there for everybody. Go look at it, read the language, be informed of what's actually going on here. But here is an article, where everything's just laid out. So
Sure.
here we have the existence of the impermissible scheme is proven. As described below, the existence of the impermissible scheme is proven, the Big Ten said, while other investigative bodies continue to develop additional evidence of the scope, extent and individual knowledge of the scheme that may advise additional or enhanced penalties in the future. Taking immediate action is appropriate and necessary under the conference's sportsmanship policy. So basically, this was around the time where they decided to, suspend Harbaugh in
Yeah.
like the most the most vindictive way. Literally, he
Yeah.
was on a plane. The team was on the plane to the Penn State game, and he found
Yep.
out he was being suspended for the last three games of the season. So, and then you have gosh, NCAA gave Big Ten a master spreadsheet of sign stealing activities. Stallions purchased tickets over 3 seasons. And then, like, Michigan, the thing that infuriated Petiti was Michigan pushed back. They didn't take any type of, responsibility
Yeah.
for this. They just argued. And I remember specifically that the Michigan was pushing to sue the Big
Yeah,
Ten,
same
Tony
thing.
Petitti, and they're actually trying to get an injunction to for stay to get rid of Harbaugh's suspension, but they backed down. Why did they back down? Because more evidence was presented. So fast forward to today, and we have the article of so basically Petiti letter calls for no new penalties in Michigan sign stealing scandal. And he's basically saying like the punishment for Harbaugh, the 3 games, and Connor Stallions being fired, that
Mhm.
should suffice. And it's just Peter. What are your thoughts on his change of tone? His just he completely changed his tune, and now he's saying a 3 game suspension for what he considered a big deal. And I mean, dude, no other time has there been an emergency conference call with other conference coaches. So what are your thoughts?
Yeah, he was on the warpath, man. He really was on the warpath back in 2023 against Michigan because he had the support of 17 presidents and 17 head coaches. And now he's trying to appease the one that he really pissed off in the U of M, one of the biggest money makers for the conference. And now that they have a decent chance at making the playoffs again, he's trying to go to bat for them. He's backtracking and he's saving. He's trying to save face with uh, with the one athletic department that he extremely pissed off.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think it's all for show. It's all for face. He does realize, okay, Michigan, the Michigan brand makes a lot of
The
money from
big
the
money
Big
man.
Ten.
Yeah,
And it's just like if there's any sort of postseason ban, then that's less money for their conference. Because for every
yeah,
team that makes the playoffs or wins a national championship, yeah, etc. I mean, it's money for that conference. But here's the thing, Peter. Michigan fans are out in droves thinking that this is just some profound letter and that it's uncommon that this happens. Well, I'm here to tell everybody that it is common that the commissioner of a conference comes out and supports a team who is before the committee of infractions. And so
sure.
let's look at some examples here. Where is it?
And before you do that, he was gonna be at the committee of infractions meetings, but he had hip surgery, and so he could not be. He had hip replacement surgery, so he could not be present in Indianapolis when they took place last month.
Yeah, so here's an example. Miami Hurricanes back in 2013. Miami versus the NCAA. ACC commissioner praises Hurricanes efforts. John Swafford complimented the Hurricanes for their conduct during the NCAA's probe into their athletics department and echoed Miami president Donna Shala's call for an end to the case. So there is one case
Sure.
of uh, of a commissioner coming out in support of a team before the committee of infractions. And
Yeah.
then our very own then Big Ten commissioner, Jim Delaney, Big Ten commissioner urges leniency for Ohio State. So remember back in 2011 when there was Tattoo Gate,
Sure.
and Ohio State still got hammered. I mean, even though the Big Ten commissioner came out with support for Ohio State when they were before the committee of infractions, Ohio State still got hammered. Vacated wins, postseason ban, pretty much the works. And then you have, let's see, Tennessee. 2023, the SEC commissioner uh, supported Tennessee when they were before the hearing infractions for their violations. And here, Tennessee still gets hammered. Tennessee must vacate all 11 wins from 2019-2020 season.
Oh, wow, I actually didn't
Though,
know that.
and just in case, Michigan fans come out and say, well, they avoided a postseason ban. They avoided a postseason ban because of their full cooperation. There
Mm,
was little to no full cooperation for Michigan at any point of this investigation. I mean,
mhm.
dude, their cooperation was the equivalency of that one student taking a class in college. They do nothing to the bare minimum all semester.
Sure.
And then, at the 12th hour, they start trying some. And then they go to the professor for extra credit and even argue after they get the bad grade that they deserved an A because they tried. Well, you know what, Peter? Michigan tried at the end. They picked and chose Sharon Moore's
Right.
suspension for 2 games, and that was that. But
Sure.
yeah, I mean, what are your thoughts?
Well, I still think they're gonna come down with. He'll be suspended for the first 4 games of the season. He won't be making the trip to Oklahoma. Um, I just think this whole thing is trying to save face, man, and trying to protect the brand and protect everything. And because they turned it their they turned over stuff at the last hour and did this little slap on the wrist punishment for themselves. They think they're going to get away with things lighter, and I don't think some big heavy hammer is coming at all. Like, I really truly don't. Like I said, 4 game suspension, perhaps a massive fine, but nothing that's going to destroy the future of the program or anything like that. But yet here they are, with Petiti trying to save face and proclaiming him now as a Trojan horse for them, and a wonderful thing that he's doing after bashing him for the last 2 years. So
I mean, just a message to Michigan fans. The letter from Tony Petitti to the I can't talk to the
yeah,
NCAA is meaningless. Look at all go do your research. Look at all the other college teams in different sports: basketball,
yeah.
baseball, football, whatever,
Memphis
and
has got the big
see
hand.
that it's not very rare. It's not uncommon for a commissioner to come out support for a team within their own conference. So don't get your hopes up. Plus, they, you know, even though, you have this kind of Stallions thing, they're still looking at 6 level 1 violations, lack of institutional control,
Yeah,
and failure to monitor. We all know why that's happening. Go do your research. And then, there's Michigan fans saying, well, Tony Petitti did this because he was waiting for new evidence to come out about the advanced science stealing scandal. Well, go look at the NCAA infractions dashboard and go look at when the NOA was amended. It was amended, and I think it was like what, the fall of 2024. One of the
right.
reasons why an NOA could be amended because there is new information being presented that's credible, and so they amend the NOA because just like, okay, we have some more evidence towards this. We're gonna
Sure.
nail you with some more, and that's what I believe. That's what I believe happened. Other than that, I'm still conflicted about what the actual punishment's going to be. Just I'm doing my own research. I'm weighing the options with this. I'm
Sure.
looking at the evidence. I'm weighing like, okay, what could possibly happen? Like, okay, maybe they don't get nailed for the advanced sign stealing, but they could definitely get nailed for how they handled this entire investigation. I mean,
Yeah,
go
the
go look,
defiance.
go look at the NCAA's letter, their explanation of Harbaugh's punishment for the show cause. Go look at the
Hmm.
language. It all points to lack of institutional control, failure to monitor, noncompliance.
some some gonna be interesting as the story continues to develop over the Big Ten media days. I hope someone has the cojones to actually ask Tony Petitti the questions that every single fan base now wants to hear during this next few days of the media's covering our conference. I mean, somebody step up to the plate, man. Ask this question. Put him under the grill, because he denied comment on this article from Dan Wetzel. He didn't want this story to get out, and it's interesting now. So
Oh, dude,
it's out there.
I could already see it. You know, here's the question. Here's the question right here, and here is Tony Petitti
Yeah, buddy.
going around it just
He's
like a
gonna be a little
politician.
politician with it,
Yep,
right?
a little politician, man, talking out of
Yeah.
both sides of his mouth. But you know what? I guess you know what? I'm not going to say he's spineless. You can't blame a guy for protecting his interests. That's all
Yeah.
this is.
And I noticed he did an interview with Joel Klatt maybe a couple weeks ago, and I caught tidbits of it. He is very good at dodging questions. He's
Yeah.
very good at it. So he's going to continue to practice that. But anyway, that's going to do it for this one. Go Bucks and God bless. We'll see you on the next one.
OH.
IO.